Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mind on Purpose. My name is Joe Burns, the Mind Op. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most important things going on right now, and that is your immune system and the effect that stress can have and anxiety can have on your immune system. As a high performance coach to athletes and artists and high performance executives and stock market traders and futures traders, one of the biggest things I help my clients deal with all the time is stress and anxiety. And right now, that is at an all-time high and an all-time high level across the board with everything that's going on right now with the COVID and with the coronavirus. So let's talk about some things that you can actually do. First off, I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV, but it doesn't take a doctor to know that stress is a killer for your immune system. And that is one of the most important things that we can protect right now is our immune system. Because if you listen to the studies, even though worst case studies, what they're saying is that it's really somebody with a compromised immune system that has the most to fear. And that if you don't have a compromised immune system, likely that the symptoms for most people, 80% is the numbers that I'm hearing, it's going to feel more like a common cold, and it's going to maybe be not even as troublesome as the flu. Again, what can we do then to help our immune system? Obviously, right? Eating well and getting good sleep, and if you can, exercising, certainly, even though many of you are probably quarantined or stuck inside right now, and also experiencing weather issues to boot out there. So if you can, inside or outside, get a little exercise, that's going to help you as well. But dealing with stress and anxiety is going to be one of the best things if you can take care of stress. So I'm going to give you some things that I work on with my clients. I will give you a guided meditation tomorrow for free, just on the web, probably about a 20-minute one that will help you with some progressive relaxation and some visualization, just as I would with my clients. I'll let you know where you can get a hold of me if you want something more, but I am going to put something free on there. And every single day, we're going to put something positive on so that we are kind of walking the walk and talking what I'm going to talk about right now. So first off, let's talk about how stress does affect the immune system, just so you know how insidious it is and what it really does. So if you and I, we have the same wiring, we have the same kind of mindset and limbic system and all these things that we had as cavemen. And listen, stress and fear had its moment, and it has its moment still. If you're in a life or death situation, if you're about to get hit by a car, that rush of adrenaline, that cortisol that goes to your muscles makes you hyper aware and helps you to move out of the way is necessary. Good. Right. And back when we were cavemen, if these bigger things that had sharper teeth and were faster and were trying to eat us, having that fight or flight response, that sympathetic, right, and that sympathetic system response where cortisol rushes to our muscles and rushes through our system, and adrenaline rushes through our system, help us to fight off or flee from that bigger thing. Okay. Now, and we have those same responses today. And if you've heard my other videos, you know that I talk about some of the things in modern society that can send us into that fight or flight that aren't necessarily positive. Today, we're actually going to talk about some of those things and how you can use them, like technology, how you can, use some of the things for what they're intended for. But back to this whole idea of stress. So what happens is if we get caught in that stress loop, start to catastrophize, right? Because even having sometimes an overreaction can work for us. Again, if we're walking along in the jungle or on the plane or something, and you and I are there, and a bush starts moving, and I go, oh, it's the wind, and you go, oh, it's a saber tooth, and you run, and I don't. If I'm wrong, I get eaten, and you get rewarded. So if we both run, and even if it's just the wind, having that overreaction can still have a benefit to us. And so our hardwiring knows this. It's when we get stuck in that loop. So it's when we get stuck in the loop that it becomes anxiety. And here's what happens. So think of our body's defenses as an army that has a certain amount of resources. When it sends out those chemicals, when it sends out the fight or flight chemicals, it's going to shut down the longer term chemicals that are our immune system. So in other words, what's happening is it's telling our system, hey, there's this immediate threat right here. We've got to put all hands on deck to deal with this immediate threat. And when you do that, then we're less worried about fighting off a virus or fighting off bacteria. because we got to deal with the immediate threat. If you stay in that sympathetic, in that fight or flight mode, if you stay with that cortisol rushing through your system, it is not only unhealthy on other levels, it is suppressing your immune system, because it's telling your immune system, hey, that's not important right now. What's important is this thing right in our face. And so what those things do, the cortisol, it keeps the natural, immunity and the natural virus fighters and that sort of thing from getting the resources that they need. If you can picture, I have a friend that had a kidney transplant. And what do they do to suppress the immune system so the body doesn't reject the kidney? Is they are going to give steroids, and they're going to mimic that adrenaline, that cortisol, so the body's immune system stay low. And he is one of these people that has a compromised immune system and has to be very careful in this situation, because he is getting chemicals introduced into his system to suppress his immune system to keep the kidney, right? To keep the transplant in place. Well, when you stay in that anxiety loop, when you stay constantly in that fight or flight, you are doing the same thing. You are suppressing your immune system because you're telling your body subconsciously, we need this immediate threat taken care of right here. So what we need to do is we need to get parasympathetic. One of the first things that you can do with that is work on what you focus on and what you breathe. And so the breathing is one thing that you can do right away. When I take somebody into hypnosis, I'll start with the breath right away. So one of the real simple things, when you start to notice that you are getting anxious, and this, you can use this forever, but it's going to help you right now in this situation, is to do what we call box breathing. And it's really, if you're going to breathe in for a certain amount, you're going to hold it for that same amount, and then you're going to let it out twice as long. So basically it goes like this. You breathe in for a count of 4. You're going to hold it for a count of 4. And then you're going to let it out like you are a leaking balloon to the count of 8. And I'll have my clients, right before I start to do an induction, right before I start to put them in hypnosis, I will do that 3 or 4 times. And then it's about what they focus on. All right. And again, what I'm sharing with you is that you're in hypnosis when you're in this constant state of anxiety. You're in this constant overload, in this constant state of fight or flight, because the next thing you need to do is control and manage what you focus on. So when I'm working with an athlete, they can't control sometimes the situations of the game. They can't control the other players. They can't control the referee. They can't control sometimes when things happen. What they can control is their focus. When I work with a stock market trader, a futures trader, again, they can't control what the market is doing, but they have to control their focus. And this is really big right now, folks. You can't control these situations, but you can control your focus. You can control the media that you're looking at. You can control the stories that you're looking at and the stories that you're sharing right now. You can focus on what is the good part of Contagious versus the bad part of Contagious. What's the bad part of Contagious? This virus is very, very contagious. You know what's just as contagious? Laughter, love, kindness, mindfulness, being nice to somebody, passing on that meme that makes everybody laugh. There's a great one going around right now, day 24 of parents with their kids home, and the guy hears his kid coming and he hides in the couch. I don't know if you've seen that one. I'll try and put the link down, but my friend sent me that one. Very funny. I loved it. So folks, there are things right now that we can focus on that serve us, and there are things right now that we can focus on that are just going to make the contagion of the fear even worse. All right. So breathing, number one, what we focus on. So one of the other big things that we talk about with our clients and that I talk about with my students too. So what our mind loves is the known. What it hates is the unknown. And right now, this is one huge unknown, right? We don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know if there's going to be an even bigger shutdown coming. We don't know what this is going to do to the economy. We don't know, a lot of things as far as really, is this going to be more like South Korea's version of it? Is it going to be more like China's version of it? Is it going to be more like Italy's version of it? Iran's version of it, right? Are these measures going to have any effect? So again, if we focus on the unknown, that puts us into fight or flight. So focus on the knowns. Ask yourself empowering questions. Is this thing I'm focusing on right now empowering me? Is this thing that I'm focusing on right now something I can control? Is it something I can do something about? Right? If not, stop, drop, and roll. Remember the old commercial, stop, drop, and roll. If something's on fire, if you're in an emergency, stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop that thought, roll on to something that serves you. Remember, everything happens, right? You've heard that saying, everything happens for a reason. My saying is everything happens, find the reason, because your mind is going to find a reason. You get to decide. You get to decide what you focus on. You get to decide whether or not it's focusing on something that serves you, okay? So that brings us back to this whole idea of contagious. Folks, this is your opportunity, right? So one of the big things that my clients love about the work that we do is the reframes. I have a little exercise that I can't remember where I got it from. I borrowed it from somebody else, so I don't want you to think this is mine. I just wish I could credit whomever it was. Every time you go through a door frame, reframe. So how many times do you go through a door frame during the day, right? So it just reminds you when you're stepping through a doorway to reframe the situation. If you're not in the place that you want to be right now, get on purpose and reframe that situation. So what would that look like? Well, I don't know about you, but I have probably texted, or at least been on a group text with my whole family, more in the last couple of weeks than I have in the last year. And it's sad when a tragedy maybe is the thing that brings that together, but that's what brings it together. And technology was made for this. At least that's what they told us, right? Is that the Book of Faces and all of these other things were made to connect us. Well, this is our opportunity. So every single day, plan on reaching out to 3 or 5 people. If you are in that unknown situation, if you are in one of those companies like a lot of my friends where they're just handing out laptops and saying, go home, work from home, we don't even know what that's going to look like. We don't even know how to get you on our system yet, or things like that. Focus on the things that we know. Focus on the things that are going to serve you. Reach out to 3, 4, 5 people every single day on Facebook. I just Facebook with my best friend in Switzerland. And we talk, yes, and we text, and yes. But we got on WhatsApp today, and we just spent some time Facebooking, and it was awesome. And I thought to myself, man, I've told myself I'm going to do this. This is my opportunity to do it. It is spring today, right? Well, tonight. So for some of you, it's already spring. For some of you, by the time you watch this, it's first day of spring. How many of you have said, boy, if I had a few days off or a few days around the house, would I like to get some spring cleaning done? So my family today worked on spring cleaning, and it felt really good. Right? So not only do I have my son around more, I have my wife around more, we actually got some stuff done today that we've been telling ourselves if we only had a few days off. How many amazing art projects can you start? How many amazing, kids are going to come out of this, poems that are going to come out of this, projects that you always wanted to have your pet project? Start them now. Focus on the positive. Focus on the reframes, right? And pass that on. Make this contagious something positive. Make the laughter positive. Make the love and the kindness positive. That's what we need right now. It's in your control. You can be on purpose with this stuff. So if you think about it, when great people in times of crisis before, I think of Churchill, right? We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Well, that was a tough one when bombs are dropping on you, because not fearing doesn't stop the bombs. But I'm telling you right now that not fearing and dealing with your anxiety and keeping your immune system strong, laughing, being positive, passing that on, being connected, being kind, being caring, those things have a real and palpable, powerful effect on your immune system. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you this is a cure. I'm telling you that this will help you, and it's real. Now, if you want to get a hold of me and you want to do a session, I am cutting my normal rates by 75% just to do a half hour, and I will put some free stuff on every single day to help you guys out with this stuff. You can reach me at The Mind on Purpose, www.themindonpurpose, or at joeburns1233@gmail.com. There's plenty of different ways you can reach me on my Facebook page. And I'm just sending love and kindness out to you guys. Peace and love. And please pass it on.